Good morning, everyone. We are still in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and we have to backtrack to Blackwell, Oklahoma. That's a 65-mile trek, and then we're slated to go over 150 miles on the Trans-America Trail to Buffalo, Oklahoma today. So we've got a big day, but I'm ready to get going. The sun's up, it's warming things up a little bit, so we're good to go.
As we head west this morning, we leave the Indian Territories behind us and we head off into farmland. Right off the bat, we get onto roads that have sand on them, and it is everywhere in the fields, on the roads, and it kind of gives you a feel of what the Dust Bowl might have been when sand covered everything. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that all the crossroads are unmarked and have no signage whatsoever. You'll need to be very, very careful if you transit the Trans-America Trail in this area, because everybody goes however fast they want to go, and it's just a free-for-all at the intersections. Eastern Oklahoma sits in the foothills of the Ozark Mountains, and so the roads kind of twist around and are a little windy. But once you get a little further west, it becomes the typical straight roads for just miles and miles and miles. Many of the roads we went down were just dirt roads like the one we're on right now. There's really almost no gravel. They're dirt and sandy. Some of the roads that we went down, if it had been rainy out, would have been impassable. They would have been so slick that you wouldn't have been able to keep the bike upright, and you'd have had to bypass those roads. I really feel fortunate that we went through in the fall when everything was dry, because we had no issues with that at all. As you can see here, the whole right side of the road had been washed away. Usually I break up the videos into short clips, but here in middle and western Oklahoma, I decided to leave some of the clips longer so that you could get a real feel for what the Trans-America Trail is like and what these roads are really like. There is no question in my mind that most of the roads that we are going down are used just mainly by farmers. These are not roads that the public would normally transit down. This is just so that they can get to fields with their farm equipment and their trucks. The vegetation and grass in the middle of these roads is evidence that they are almost never graded, and that gives you an idea of how little these roads are actually used. As we moved further west, we did run into some sections that were graded, and I found out later on by talking to a county worker what they're really doing is they're grading off the sand dunes that build up on the roads. This portion of the Trans-America Trail was actually pretty easy to navigate because everything was just straight. Some of the roads that we went down, I think we were on them for 20 or 30 miles before we made a turn. The further west that we went, we encountered more sand on the roads, and it was starting to get deeper. Here we're running across probably 1.5 to 2 inches of sand. Luckily for us, at this point in time, there was a hard base underneath, and we could still maintain speed and relatively good traction. But eventually the sand gets worse.
gonna go up and over. Oh, it's a piece of cake. I thought it'd be a little more dramatic than that. Oh, Roy, hurry up! There's another train coming the other way. Eventually, the flat farmland gives way to cattle country, and it's starting to look a lot more like Western states would look like. I spent a lot of time over the years in western states, specifically Colorado, Montana, and Wyoming the most. And it always feels good when I get back into the high prairies and you start seeing sagebrush. It just gives me fond memories of all those times that I've traveled through those areas. This was kind of unique because the road went right through this homestead before turning and going west again. It was a lot of fun to be able to see the homestead and the barns up close. As we got close to Buffalo, it was quite apparent that we were getting into some more remote areas again.
Well, we made it to Buffalo, Oklahoma, and boy, what a great day it was. We had a lot of back roads, some remote areas, and sand, sand, sand. This section of the Trans-America Trail would test your skills on sand, no doubt about it. And but we had a great time, great scenery. And we ended up at this little place here. I want to turn the camera around so you can see it. It's really cute. They've renovated a building into like a little inn. It's called the Woolly Bison Inn, and it comes with it. The room that we're in has actually 2 separate bedrooms, so it worked out perfect, and the price is right. It's a really nice place, and we lucked out. The owner just happened to drive by and saw us standing here and stopped to help us. That's how small this town is. The only fast food restaurant in town is Subway, so there's not much here. This is a really small town. I gotta show you this. This is looking north on the highway that comes through town here. So that's the north side of town. And there's the south side of town. That's all there is. Ain't that something?